back
It's
to
good and bad in all of the different scenarios.
Well, how do you feel that summer's over?
I'm ecstatic. You may not see it. This is my ecstatic face. If you didn't know.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of
Cash Family Values.
So we know that you guys missed us, so we're back. Okay, so we actually wanted to talk about one of the reasons we've been missing for a little bit, summertime.
Vacation.
Right? You guys know we love the vacation. So you guys saw that we did upload the VIP experience we did in Universal Studios in California, which was amazing. Like anytime we go, we're doing VIP, I'm just saying. But we also went to Orlando, I feel like a couple of times. And we did a lot of other things in California as well.
One thing I have to say about the VIP, not all VIP are created equal. Not all VIP experiences are created equal.
Oh.
I'm not bringing down anything, but I just know that Universal one came with lunch.
You had a
and
private lunch.
It also included the actual park entrance.
So
right?
yes, it included the park entrance. Okay. I'm happy that he said that. So when you hear, the VIP experiences, read the fine print, do your research to see which park includes what. So for the one in California, for example, like he said, it included the park tickets. So it wasn't a separate charge to get in the park. The ones in Orlando, it's separate. Whether it's Disney or Universal, you have to still pay for the park entrance separate from the VIP experience. So in California, it included that. It included a private buffet just for VIP. Like it's an entire restaurant that was just for VIP, and the food was excellent. Oh my gosh, and it was a buffet. And then it also included the private bus for the studio tour.
Oh yeah, you got like an actual studio tour.
Right. So everybody at the park can go on the studio tour. It's a smaller bus because it's just for the VIP crew. And everyone else, like if you're a normal attendee, you just went to Universal Studios in California, they had like what do they call those big long trolleys? The the tram. It's almost, I saw them when we passed. It was like a long tram.
One of them.
Yeah, but this one was awesome, and then you could like come off of it and actually see some of the places where they shoot. So it was a steal of a deal, quite honestly.
If you don't know what we're all talking about, you can watch the video because it's already there.
Yeah, if you missed it, check it out, and maybe you guys will, take us at our word and go check it out yourself or your family. But that was one of the things, and we had a busy summer here. My nephew was here, spending some time with the kids, so it was a lot. But now summer's over. And it's funny, like depending on your situation, you might be excited that summer is over, or you might be crying that summer is over. So like I'm kind of in the middle because yay, summer is over, the kids go back to school, so there's quiet in the house and I can work in peace.
Which by the way, if you haven't been following us that well, both of us work from home. So having this summer 4 children in the house, and they require 3 square meal a day to be fixed for them or whatever. Because some of the kids, like our oldest, she's a survivalist. She will go and find something for herself. Even the youngest, the girls. But something about these teenage boys.
It's just boys.
It's like they don't know how to fix for themselves. I mean, well, I'm particularly talking about our boy.
Yes. So it's on that side, it's great because it's quiet. On the flip side, then we're back to drop-offs and pickups.
And all sorts of other activities.
And then school activities, and then projects, and then, ironing and washing. I mean, we gotta wash regardless, but it's just like the routine. It's like a steady. In the summertime, it's more laid back. It's you don't have to really stick to a regimen. Besides knowing that you got to get up for work. But now that school's back, it's like, all right, military style. Bed by this time. Food's, dinner's got to be on the plates for this time. They got to take a bath by that time, and God forbid, don't forget they have an assignment due the next day. It's a whole lot. So for me, I'm like, summer is over, yay. So it's like yes, excitement, but also, all right, back to the grind.
It's good and bad in all of the different scenarios.
Well, how do you feel that summer's over?
I'm ecstatic. You may not see it. This is my ecstatic face. If you didn't know, I don't know. You've probably seen all of my face, and they may all look the same. But this is definitely my ecstatic face.
It's also his. Not upset.
I have it.
Let me see the face. Do the face. That's your ecstatic face?
This is my ecstatic face. But no, I mean, I know, especially how our situation is, she's in meetings all day, so she's like super booked. You know what I mean? All day. My things normally kick off more into the evening time. But so I have my youngest always come to me, Dad, I need to do this. Oh, Dad, can you give me this something to eat or whatever? And the 3 times in a day, like the breakfast, the lunch, and the dinner, that's fine. But then for some reason, I think kids feel like because they aren't doing anything, they should be eating or whatever. So it's like...
It's always, I'm hungry. She did it to us today. She literally had pizza, I want to say an hour or 2?
Like an hour or 2 ago.
And she's like, I'm hungry. Guys, I'm hungry. Again, I'm like, what are you hungry for? Like the word of God? I don't understand. Like, why are you hungry? You just ate food.
Yeah, so it's like, I'm glad they're back in school because that means they are a little bit further along, getting to the, the end of the road.
I mean, even that's also like good and bad.
Well, I mean, we only feel it so much more for our oldest because she only has 4 more years.
Sometimes I don't want to think about it, but
it's still good because they're progressing and they're...
I remember we brought her home from the hospital, and she had these big bright eyes, and now I look at her and she's 14, and she only has 4 years left. 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th. 4 years. That's gonna fly by. 4 years.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. This is my sad face, by the way. I may feel like how she says a little bit of both, but more happy. Just that it's progressing. You know what I mean? It's literally like
they're getting closer
it's August now. Yeah, and then even getting close to the end of the year, it's another year. I mean,
new trips.
We won't talk about the trips thing. But,
I like the travel guys.
But just them getting more. I mean, even the conversations I have with them day to day, it surprises me sometimes that I'm having these conversations with them because, like she said, you remember bringing these people home from the hospital and, you had to do everything for them and they didn't have an opinion because they were too young, but now they've formed their own opinions, or even if they haven't formed them, they're asking you, hey, Dad, whatever, hey, Mom, what do you think about this? And it's really, really, really cool to see the transformation.
It's important to remember that, though, because like how you're excited that they're progressing, I think sometimes we forget that they grow every single year. And so our minds may still be stuck at the 4-year-old, the 5-year-old, and we treat them like that sometimes.
Yeah, and then we don't notice the growth as much either, even like physically, because you have your distant relatives or whatever who see them not every day. So and you're like, I don't notice it, But then I have a few pictures of my son on the fridge. For me, he's looked the same since day one. But now seeing that picture, I'm like, oh my gosh, it's like so different.
That's why pictures are important because I go through a couple of the photos and I'm like, oh my gosh, even a picture a year ago when we went to Hawaii, I said, why do you guys look so young in this photo? But we have to remember that they are growing. And then the conversation changes, like you said, and it should shift. And we have to make sure that we're growing with our kids, that we're spending time with them. Now, especially that they're going back in school, I make it a point to always ask them individually, yes, as a group, hey guys, how was school? But I like to have that one-on-one, hey, Lyric, specifically, how was school today? What happened in school today? Anything interesting, anything boring? And then the same with the other kids. Because you need to make sure you're always involved in what's going on. Especially it's a new year. They have new teachers, so it's not the same. It's like, yes, it's what we're used to. The routine is what we're used to, but the environment now is a little different. Our youngest one is now in kindergarten, so it's a whole new experience for her. So I know that we need to make sure that we stay connected to what's going on in her life. But yeah, I mean, as school starts for everyone and now we're getting back in that routine, I would really, admonish everyone to set up the schedule. I talk about a schedule all the time. I feel like I always tell people because I live and die by the schedule. Live and die by the word of God and by my schedule. Right?
I don't say live and die by the schedule.
Okay, maybe that's a bit extreme.
Find a little bit of organization through the schedule.
Be organized. That's the way you're going to keep your head on your shoulders, especially when it's something new and you're trying to figure out what's going to work. Establish that schedule. Know who's, even for us, and I think we've talked about it before. We have our own schedule. Today you drop off, I pick up. Tomorrow, you drop off, I pick up. Who's cooking dinner? Who's, washing the clothes this week? Just so that we have, we know in advance when we're starting our week what's happening. So there's no dropped balls. There's no someone getting upset because I expected, there's no expectations that's, unknown.
Oh, that still happen though.
I mean, well, if someone doesn't do what they're supposed to do on their day.
Someone doesn't look at the schedule.
Someone doesn't look at the schedule. And yeah, but, at least there is a schedule. So some of us can take a look to know whose day it is for what. So I would really...
I agree because, I'm always spot on with the schedule. And it's always her who's like falling down.
Which schedule are we talking about? He didn't even tell me I had something in my hair.
I'm on the schedule of life. Life is my schedule.
And it's not the schedule. That's not what the schedule is called.
Day by day, minute by minute, hour by hour.
Anyway, so establish the schedule and make sure your kids get to bed on time. That's going to be crucial.
Actually,
for a couple
you do
of
what
things.
you want to do. We're not their parents. You're their parents. But what we do, what works for us is getting them to bed on time.
Okay, let me back up because he wants to make sure that I'm politically correct.
Not politically correct.
I would encourage you.
You ain't their mama.
But you can do whatever. I am not your mama. But I'm telling you what has worked for us, okay? Making sure that they have a strict bedtime that you stick to because it's going to create that schedule and routine in their heads.
And with the
kids
little ones
thrive.
especially,
Yes, they thrive on a routine, which is why teachers do it every single day. They have a routine in class and they know that works because the kids expect this first and then it's nap time and then it's circle time and then it's like the kids get used to it and it helps them. It helps them and it helps you because when they have a time for bed specifically, then you guys, husband, wife, you can have your me time, your couples time, your whatever time. You can have your time where you just relax and get, what time you'll have after work. Okay, great. When the kids go to bed, I can do this, but you can plan that better and then have your solace. But if your kids are up 8, 9, 10, 11 midnight and you're trying to run around and get them to bed and still trying to do what you have to do, it's going to be pure chaos. You're going to be tired the next morning. They're going to be cranky the next morning.
For the morning too,
yeah, it's going to be, so everything trickles over. So we have a schedule. It works for us. I encourage you. Can I just say encourage? I encourage you to get a schedule, get your kids on a schedule. But yeah, know that it's a new year. They're growing up.
School year, yeah.
We're growing up. Mom, Dad, you're getting older.
I'm already old.
Yeah, you're old.
I've already accepted the fact.
It's funny, we were talking today and I don't remember what it was that came out and I'm like, I feel like technology is kind of passing us by. Not like passing us by, but I feel like when we were younger, it's like a desire to learn more.
I think I'm getting what my parents were about, as in not embracing every new thing that comes out.
Yeah, I'm still not on TikTok. I don't think I will be. I just can't. So. Maybe one day, but I don't think so.
I'm still trying to get into the whole AI thing. I'm not.
Listen, let's not. We gotta have a whole episode on AI.
Between AI and the crypto stuff. The crypto stuff, I've always been. She's a little bit on that stuff, but I've always been like a little bit of a skeptic. And when that whole FTX thing happened, I was like, "What I tell you?" So I'm not jumping on that train anytime soon.
You want to make sure you're wise. You want to be wise. You don't want life to take you over, pass you by, but and that's why it's always important that you're staying connected to God. You're staying connected.
Always remain a student.
Going on.
I think always remain a student because the thing is, a student knows he don't know everything. He or she don't know everything.
Well, yes.
And always have a mindset of a student, as in there's always something else you can learn. Because when you think you know everything, that arrogance sets in, and then no one can tell you anything, and that's the worst place to be in. That's the worst. Have the mindset of always wanting to learn. Yeah. And I think within marriage, that me always wanting to learn what she's dealing with, what she likes, what's because it's
always be a student.
Right, always be a student
of your spouse.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, even in life, with your marriage, in life, with your kids, always know that they're gonna surprise you. Life's gonna surprise you and present a few new things that you didn't know.
Yeah. So. Always be learning about your kids. Because I like how you said with a spouse, but even what we were saying, that it's a new year, they're growing. Mm-hmm. You have to continue to learn your kids, what they like. And it's at young ages, they change so frequently. One day they like shrimp and the next day they hate shrimp. One day they, like the color pink, next day it's purple. They're still forming.
I had a conversation with
who
Ben.
They are.
I didn't tell you this conversation, sorry. And it was, he was talking about, when we were going to the movies.
Who's this, Ben?
Ben.
Okay.
Yeah, Ben. He saw a girl with colored hair. And he's like, oh man, I want to color my hair. I want to do. I said, but he's like, I want like this side one color and this side another. So I said, he's gonna split it right down the middle. He said, yeah. I said, okay. What colors were you thinking? He said, I don't know. I mean, I was like, okay. Well, let's table that. Let's workshop that. Figure out.
You wanted to color his hair?
That's what he said. So I mean, never. It's not ever something that I said I want to do when I was growing up. But I know, telling my dad many things, I'm pretty sure I might have said that. He was like, oh wow, that's not what I was expecting to hear, not what I wanted, or what seemingly I wanted to hear. But your kids are gonna give you a lot of those kind of experiences where some things they're gonna have different tastes. I mean, the world is different, and with everything changing, technology changing, culture.
But even with that, you have to be careful, especially if you profess to have a Christian home. You have to make sure that you establish.
No, for sure.
What goes outside the boundaries of acceptable.
For sure, you have to have. You should always be able to tell your kids where your moral compass points and where your faith lies.
Just making sure you keep your level head, making sure you, as I suggest, have
only
that
suggestions
routine.
We have for you guys.
But remember that the kids are growing up, and even we touched on being married. Your spouse changes every day. There's
I'm always changing.
New experiences that come up.
I'm not gonna wear this tomorrow. I'm gonna change.
We're all changing. So always keep an open mind to hear what's going on in the life of your children, especially with the new school year. Don't shut the door. Don't keep them in a bottle in your mind of them still being kids, because remember, they are growing up. So their interest in certain things will now start to peak, right? And their interest, what they had in other things might just dwindle. It's fine. Maybe they were interested in dance last year, but now they don't want to do it. It's okay. What is important is making sure that you stay in tune with what it is that they are interested in, making sure you know who they are hanging around that's influencing their decisions, making sure that you know what they're watching and listening to that also feeds into the things that they're now interested in. So just making sure.
Yeah, I mean, on the ship of life, they're the first mate, but you're still the captain. So you gotta stare at you gotta stare at. Hey, yo, starboard, port, but you still stare at them.
But anyway, that's all we wanted to share with you guys, because we know that it's been a crazy couple of months, but we're so happy that that's now, summer's done. We'll wait to do summer again next year. Super excited about that. I already have a couple of things planned.
This is my excited face again.
There's his excited face. Okay, I think that's all the time that we have for this episode, right?
Yeah, I think that'll be. It's enough from me anyway.
Definitely enough from me. But thank you guys, as always, for tuning in. We'll see you on the other episode.
Bye.